So somehow it's Wednesday morning already. I completely forgot to record any videos. I have just been completely relaxing after a stressful and difficult couple of days leading up to this trip. Just the normal hectic, packing and prep. But then we got on the road Monday morning. Thought we'd be here by about 5, and instead there was this huge accident on the New Jersey Turnpike with an overturned tanker truck that backed up traffic on both sides of the turnpike. I don't know what it was carrying, but it spilled all over the place. So traffic just stopped while they attempted to clean it up. They trucked sand in. We saw the sand trucks go past us. It was a real mess. So we just sat there on the Jersey Turnpike for more than an hour and a half, not moving. I have never been so happy about our new camper because we were towing a restroom behind us. And since we were just sitting there, I could get out of the car and go into the camper. So anyway, it was a long day of travel, much longer than it should have been. And we got here to Taconic State Park in New York State. It's right on the Massachusetts border, so east of the Hudson River. We got here like 7:45 at night. It was dark out. We had to back into our campsite and set up in the dark, which is very trying for a marriage. But we were exhausted. So yeah, the last day and a half, we've just been taking it easy. So just to fill you in, yesterday was mostly just a chill and relaxed day. I especially knew I had to take it easy, but my husband was pretty worn out too. We went to the Kopek Ironworks National Historic Area, which is the land that this park is on, but also right near it they have the actual ironworks preserved, and there's a museum. So we walked around the grounds there. So I didn't take any video yesterday, but I'll share some photos. And after we walked around the grounds of the museum and the old ironworks, we took a very short little stroll through the woods along the Bash Bish Brook. I keep mixing that up and saying it the opposite way, which was really just relaxing and pretty. So this is the brand new shower building. It is, yeah, so they've got the restrooms separate from the showers, but here you've got each little room has a shower, a toilet, a sink. It's really nice, and they're brand new. So that was nice. And as you could probably see behind me, this is why we love camping midweek. The campground's pretty much empty. Just a couple of tenters here and there, a couple of trailers down near where we are. So this is the other side of the shower building. And then right over there is the restroom building. Yeah. So yeah, we haven't used the new shower in our camper yet, mainly because our gray tank tends to fill pretty quickly. So we've been a little conservative. But with brand new shower house like this, that's fine. Don't mind using it at all. Just cutting through a couple of empty sites. So that's us over there. We did have some neighbors briefly. 2 sites down. A couple pulled in last night, like late yesterday afternoon, and they were gone by the time we got up this morning over there. So, yeah, otherwise, as you can see, it's nice and quiet. It'll be very different at the next spot we move to because we'll be there over the weekend. You can see the whole street's empty. And here we are, home sweet home. We drove down to the southern part of Taconic State Park to kayak in Rudd Pond. Very quiet and peaceful out here. There's really nobody else here but some park employees. It's cloudy, but it's warm out. Nice reflection in the water. Seeing just a few little bits of fall color, but it's mostly still green around here, as it is at home too. Got some lily ponds on the side. Should be a nice, quiet, relaxing paddle. Kayaking is very easy for me, even with all my limitations, because I can rest whenever I want to, and kayaking's very efficient. It takes very little effort to move yourself forward quite a bit, so yeah, so I enjoy it. Floating among the lily pads here. I did see a couple of little yellow buds. There's one there, but not really blooming too much anymore. I like lily pads. We're down at the other end of the pond now. It's a pretty small pond. Very pretty down here. This is still part of the park, even though it's separate. And there are some campsites along that shoreline in the woods, but they're tent sites. Pretty day. The water's very still and quiet. We've seen a great blue heron, kingfisher, and paddling past some marshland, I frightened a duck that flew out right in front of me. So we've seen some birds, but no turtles. This is the second trip in a row where we haven't seen any turtles. Don't understand it. It's still quite warm out. My husband spotted the heron again over by that dead tree sticking up. I can't get very close with the video camera. But he's sitting there just to the right of the dead tree sticking up. Just chilling out in the lily pads. Which beach I'm headed for. There's a little bit of fall color here right along the water. Still mostly green, but you can see some little bits here and there. I was hoping coming north we'd catch some, but we didn't come far enough north. I was also worried about it getting too cold on a site with no electric to run the furnace, so yeah, that's why we didn't go further north. Campground is still pretty empty. Wednesday afternoon, really quiet around here, which is lovely. So this is our site. We are on site 82, which is nice. It backs up to the woods. Got a nice empty section next to us. When we first pulled in, there was one guy by himself on the site next to us, but he was a good distance away, so that's nice. We are a little bit close to this double site, but we only had someone there for about 12 hours, so not bad. Picnic table and grill. So that's the kitchen, the living room, our chairs and our books. My husband just went to get some firewood so we can have another campfire. And there's the camper. We actually splurged on a new piece of AstroTurf this trip. It's better made than the last piece we had. The edges are sealed so it doesn't fray, and it's a little bigger than the old piece we had. And yeah. So nice site. That tree, as you can see, is a little bit not in a great spot. We couldn't unfold the canopy all the way, but we haven't needed it really. Yeah, when we came in, it was 8 o'clock at night, completely dark, and the water connection is way at the back of the site. So we were trying to optimize being on a flat spot, I'll show you, being close enough that our hose would reach to the water back there. And yeah, so we got it over as far as we could. And believe me, it took about 10 different tries, probably more like 15 to get it that close. So yeah, that tree is in kind of an inconvenient spot, but it's fine. I'm gonna sit down and read now. So we just hiked to Sunset Rock, which we are standing on. And we've got beautiful views up here of the Hudson River Valley. He's over there somewhere. And mountains, rolling hills. It's beautiful. So that's Sunset Rock that we were standing on. And there are a whole bunch of different trails to it, but most of them were too long and too steep for me. So we let our truck do most of the work. We drove way up the mountain and then took an easier trail to get here. Beautiful views from up here. So after looking at the map, we realized we are facing west, as I thought. So the Hudson River is over there in between a couple of those ridges somewhere. And then the mountains in the distance are the Catskills. A little hazy today. Although this is as much sun as we've seen all week. And there are some little bits of fall color up here on the mountain. We can see a bunch of orchards from up here. New York State grows the best apples. I miss them, both not living in New York and being unable to eat apples right now. I may splurge and get one while we're up here. So if you look up, there are some maples that have already turned red. I love the color of maples in the fall. But down here, it's still pretty green. So there were some little uphill parts on the way up, but much of this easier trail is like this, just nice and flat. A tunnel through the trees. Very pretty. We just passed some blueberry patches. No berries at this time of year, but in the sunshine. And yeah, this was a much easier walk for me than the other trails to the overlook would have been. And heart rate's good. Only had to stop a couple of times on the way up. This part at the beginning of the trail has a little more of a slope. But it's easy on the way down. Oh, there's quite a few rooms here.
Yeah.
Sorry about all the boxes everywhere.
It's okay.
Looks like kid stuff in there. Oh, fantasy over there. Classics. There's mysteries here.
Cussler.
They've got a nice collection of Louise Penny. Looking at you, Chris. So that was really nice. She's got a lot of books in there. And I hadn't planned on buying any because I have so many at home. I did find some that I want to read, some classics to add to our classic shelf. A couple of very popular YA classics that I've never read. Jess, The Outsiders, I got just for you. And Shell Seekers for Big Book Summer next year because everybody's been telling me about it, and I've never read any Rosamond Pilcher. And now, right down the road from the librarium is the Gnome Bistro. We're in East Chatham, New York, and I've actually been to this restaurant before. My mom and I stopped here on our way to Booktopia in Vermont, and I know some other Booktopia friends stopped here too. And it's excellent food. And you can see why it's called the Gnome Bistro. Looks a little kitschy, but it's actually a really cool place on the inside. And there's nothing wrong with gnomes. So we are here on Site 62 at Gilbert Lake State Park. Still in New York State, but a different part of the state. Kind of like midway between Binghamton and Albany. So kind of between the Catskills and the Finger Lakes. And it's a nice big site. It's a little bit out in the open. We usually like we like to be in the woods. But as you can see, we're right up against the woods and there's lots of trees here. So, and we like that it's a nice big site and don't have any neighbors on either side yet, but the sites are pretty far apart. So that's nice. And yeah, so we just got here, just got set up. We're still learning with this camper. It's relatively new to us. So packing up to move took us a little longer than we had hoped. But once we got here, from the time my husband stopped the car, backed it into the right spot, to being completely set up and starting to cook dinner, only took 30 minutes. So that's pretty good. So yeah, we're gonna have a nice view there when we have a fire into the forest. And the weather's perfect. So yeah, looking forward to exploring Gilbert Lake tomorrow. So this is the spot where we just put our kayaks in. And there's a pavilion that you can rent here. A lot of people fishing. But I forgot to take any video yesterday when we were taking our hike. So we walked this trail. It's a very wide, flat trail around Gilbert Lake. It's a small lake, so the trail's only about a little over a mile, and it's very flat, so I was able to handle it. So a really pretty trail. I will show you some pictures. Out on Gilbert Lake today with the kayaks, and it's just a beautiful day. Oops, hang on. Okay, wind was blowing me. Yeah, this is just a beautiful lake. Yesterday we walked a trail around the lake. It's a small lake, so even I was able to manage that. Trail's right up there all along the shore. Oh, there's somebody walking on it now. So we had lots of good views of the lake. And yeah, today the weather has just been fabulous. It was supposed to be a lot cooler here, but it's been in the 70s, low 70s. Nice breeze, and as you can see, there is some fall color. As my husband was saying, in another week or two, this is just gonna be brilliant, vibrant colors. But I'm happy to see any at all because I thought we were a little early for that. So yeah, there's a bit of a breeze today. I keep getting blown into shore when I try to record a video, but you can see it's a pretty small lake, but very pretty. It's got a beach area back there. So all along the lake trail where we were walking yesterday, there's picnic tables and benches where you can sit right near the water. So we took a lot of breaks and enjoyed the view. Haven't seen any wildlife out on the water. We've seen a few deer in the park. And last night, after we went to bed, we heard a bunch of coyotes howling, which was quite a sound. But yeah, haven't seen an awful lot Another lake with no turtles, which is odd. Just saw a kingfisher flying low over the water and then dipping in to catch a fish, then flying back again. Speaking of fisher, there are a lot of people out fishing today, on the shore and in the water. Beautiful. There's a little bit of breeze on the water, but you can see a beautiful reflection of the trees and the clouds from this end. It's really pretty. We drove by this spot where we just put our kayaks in last night in the evening, and the lake was perfectly still, and we saw a really beautiful reflection. I have to try that tonight or tomorrow. We're meeting our nephew in Binghamton for dinner tonight. So we've been enjoying our campsite here at Gilbert Lake State Park in New York. It's Sunday afternoon, so almost everybody left. It's gonna be nice and quiet for the next 2 days. And just in case you wondered what a hybrid camper is like, hybrid means it's hard-sided trailer, but with the beds that come out the sides. And we really like that combination. I usually just keep the bed completely unzipped all the time, and yeah, love sleeping that way. So it is relatively clean in here right now, only because my husband just went to do all the dishes. So there's our little kitchen area. We've even got a microwave, which is like luxury for camping. And table, which is a mess right now. We just finished lunch. Nice size fridge. There's the living room, the couch. In the evening, after we have our campfire, we usually put my old laptop on the table. It's got a DVD player in it, and yeah, watch a show. We are currently watching 12 Monkeys, which is excellent. Good sci-fi. My husband's bed, which is a mess. We've got nice bathroom here. We have not tried the shower yet, only because our gray tank tends to fill pretty quickly. So we haven't been doing dishes here, and we haven't been showering here. But we could, especially on a shorter trip. And here's where I sleep. Oh, I actually did have to zip it up this morning because it rained for about 10 minutes. It was a startling way to wake up, hearing the raindrops, and I had it completely open. So I had to quickly scramble. So the only downside of this trailer is it doesn't have much storage room for clothes. So we each just keep our duffel bag on the edge of our bed. And yeah, and my current read, which I am going to read right now. So we had a semi-rainy day, so we came to the town of Oneonta. We drove past the 2 colleges in town, Hartwick and SUNY school, SUNY Oneonta. Last night we visited SUNY Binghamton to see our nephew, and just gonna check out this bookstore.
It's not out yet. No, it'll be coming out very, very soon. You want me to give you a call when it comes? Okay. Okay. Yeah, well, we should be getting some in, but let me see.
Market stuff.
Okay, we'll text that to you, okay? Yes, I believe we did, yes. Yeah. We have all different varieties, yeah.
This has been our typical camping dinner. We put some vegetables in a foil packet, cook it on a hot bed of coals so that it roasts, and then throw some meat on the grill. Pork chops tonight. And there's cauliflower in the packet. Very easy to do while camping, no dishes, and delicious.